we have had, this has been going on for weeks, I think, over what quiet quitting is. And John and Peter are wrong, obviously. So end of episode. Thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe. You're gonna let me get away with that? Okay,
Mike.
What's your bad definition, Mike?
Bad definition. Oh my gosh. Well, we've talked about this a couple times. So, like the way I understand your position, let's start with that. Is that
no? Sorry, that's not what we asked. Ask us what's your definition.
Then very straightforward. It's apathetic, disengaged, bare minimum performance that keeps you from getting fired.
Yeah, which is completely acceptable because it's all you're paid to do.
Yeah,
it's all you're paid to do. You're paid to do your job.
Employment agreement.
Yep.
It says do your job.
Yep.
So you go out and you do your job. Now we've labeled that as quiet quitting.
No. We haven't labeled that as quiet quitting.
Of course we have.
We're talking about two different things.
No, I am doing the minimum required of me.
No.
What is laid out in my contract.
So you're telling me if you just sit at your desk playing video games all day, but you respond on Slack fast enough that nobody raises an eyebrow to think you're not working, they just assume that you are working. That's doing your job.
No, that's not minimum.
That's what quiet quitting is.
Disagree.
But every employee has like goals and things that they're meant to be doing and have some kind of output, right? That they have to produce.
Yes.
It's not all about the facade. Yeah. The facade of working, right? Like you said.
Yeah.
Staying active on Slack and playing video games all day. Mm-hmm. You're not doing the minimum because you're not working.
Right. That's quiet quitting. The other alternative is doing your job.
No, but that's where you and I disagree. Thank God I have Peter, because at least I.
Did you ever think you'd say that?
No,
it's always you two against me. I'm used to it. Whatever, bring it on.
So okay, for some reason, the news of the world of America decided to label people who do the minimum required as quiet quitters.
No, that's not how it happened.
That's definitely how it happened.
No, it is absolutely not how it happened. Quiet quitting is not a new problem. It's always been around. Actively disengaged, apathetic about your job, not doing the work that needs to be done, but not doing enough that people realize you're not doing the work and fire you. The articles started coming out about this becoming an increasing problem during COVID because it's harder to keep track of full-time work from home people. And so this was happening more often. When the story started coming out, it was the lazy millennials who said, No, that's not what's happening. We're just doing what we're supposed to be doing. We're just not volunteering for more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of think that there's been an expectation, a kind of unspoken expectation, or even spoken out loud expectation that every employee should do a bit more than what they're actually paid for. I think I've never been at a job where I haven't had to stay behind a few minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, fairly regularly. I haven't had to just, hey, listen, this is just a one-off, but we're in a time crunch right now. We have to do a little bit more. Oh, you know what? Listen, can we shift around our lunch break today? Or maybe could you,
absolutely.
Listen, could you work this day and we'll give you time in lieu or something like this. And that is more than you are getting paid for. There has never been a situation when I have been compensated for that side of, doing more than I was asked for.
Nobody disagrees with that. Nobody disagrees with that.
So I think what's happened is that people have got to the point where they're like, no, fuck that. I'm not doing anything more than absolutely bare minimum.
No.
Not enough.
So there's nothing in between in your mind. There's nothing in between.
What do you mean?
When you say bare minimum, the implication, the connotation is that instead of going over, you're going under.
No. No.
Because it's
Absolutely
not,
it is.
That's less than the minimum.
But there's three realms. There is under the minimum.
Mm-hmm.
There is the minimum, right there, right on the line.
So
and then you're over the minimum.
You're either wrong or you're selling yourself short, because the performance standard is not the minimum. The performance standard is what you're supposed to work up to. You could go above the standard. Like the level is it's not semantics. The minimum is where you get fired. The standard is where you're supposed to be, and going over that is above and beyond. So if you're saying I'm not going to go above and beyond, I'm going to draw a healthy boundary up to what my performance standard is. That's a job. If you're saying I'm going to do the bare minimum at my job to not get fired,
tell that to all the journalists that are labeling that as quiet quitting. Because you're not going above and beyond.
It's not the journalists doing that. It's the employees making that excuse.
And you're only working to meet the criteria or goals or whatever milestones that's been created by your employer, then we are just doing our job. But that's where you and I, or me and Peter and you disagree. Because that's become the bare minimum.
No, I totally disagree with that. It's not. So you're saying that people who are, playing video games, paying attention to Slack, flying under the radar, not actually doing anything, but looking busy enough that nobody notices, they keep doing their job. Like, what would you call that? That's quiet quitting.
No, that's underperforming.
No, that's so far below underperforming. Oh my God, this is insane. Like, there's no way that you believe this.
It's super underperforming. Like, I don't know how you want me to phrase that.
So quiet quitting says I'm not going to do my job anymore. And you're telling me, but no, in some Orwellian way, quiet quitting means I actually am doing my job. This is absurd. I'm not even going to have this conversation anymore. This is ridiculous. You're like, it's like arguing with a Republican who's like, oh nope, this is just the way it is. I'm not going to think about any evidence. I believe it.
I don't believe it. I'm just echoing what others are saying.
But they're saying it wrong.
Okay. So only you are right.
No, not only me. Not only me.
Mike,
this is not a new problem.
In the room right now with
this is not a new problem. It was called active disengagement, was the term for decades. It's the exact same thing. Quiet quitting is not doing your job and getting away with it so you don't get fired.
Let me ask you.
Healthy boundaries is just doing your job.
Let me ask you this before we jump into that topic. You said playing video games all day, but simultaneously keeping Slack active, responding to messages, looking like you're working is quiet quitting, right? Is that sustainable?
I mean, for a pretty long time, it could be. Not forever.
But is it sustainable? Forever?
Not forever. Not forever, no.
Okay. In a perfect world, no, right? That now has eliminated what everyone is basically saying is quiet quitting is. What I mean is, if my goal as a quiet quitter is to keep my job, I can't do that.
But it's not.
But why wouldn't it be?
It's called quiet quitting. Quitting means I'm not doing my job anymore. I have quit doing my job. The quiet part just means I haven't told anybody that I've stopped doing my job.
Totally. You're right. The words are there, but the incorrect description that is used by everyone is the one that has been taken hold.
No, I don't think that's true.
Which is that if you do just what you're supposed to, according to your employment agreement, you've now become a quiet quitter.
No,
because you're not staying until 8 or 9.
No, not buying it.
I get that you're in denial. Okay?
Not buying it.
I get that you're in denial, but this is just the way the
not
world
buying
works.
It. So if it was the case, and look, we've been saying the same thing about Twitter, Microsoft, Facebook. A huge number of those employees are not producing any work. Like this is the reason that those CEOs came out and said, like, based on the number of people that we have, we are not seeing the production that we should have, because a lot of people were not doing that work. There were those people that are a drain on resources not producing are quiet quitters. The problem is when the business publications and the business owners talk about quiet quitters, which is a legitimate problem of active disengagement, it's those people who are saying, what do you mean? I'm just doing the minimum performance of my job. I'm not doing anything wrong.
But the minimum performance isn't playing video games all day while keeping your Slack active with a mouse.
If you don't get fired, that's the minimum.
I mean, if I came to my boss and I said, hey, got a mouse jiggler on, I haven't opened a Jira ticket in 5 weeks.
Yep.
That's insta-fired. Versus,
but you're not going to tell him that. That's again why it's called quiet quitting, because you're not telling him that you've actually already quit.
But you're basically, no, I don't agree. Peter, help me out here.
You just said it in your own words.
No, I didn't. No.
All right. Do we even need Peter? How do we get a 2-shot here?
Peter, give me something.
Break us up, bro.
I think the problem is that we're using the same term to mean two different things, and without a dictionary definition, neither one can be proven right. So when
there is
Mike
literally a dictionary definition,
something very different to what John means.
Such a cop-out.
Mike thinks it's not doing a job, and John thinks it's doing the minimum that's required for your job. I'm kind of with no. Oh, okay. I mean, no. Sure, it's a cop-out. I
should have said that at the beginning of the argument.
I know. There's literally a definition.
in a dictionary.
And quitting.
Okay, no.
Putting two words together doesn't mean that they mean exactly those definitions.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Hopeless.
So let's talk about how this isn't actually a cybersecurity risk.
It just means that they're more likely to. Because
leading indicators for quiet quitting include becoming more withdrawn or becoming apathetic towards their work. A large portion of quiet quitters may actually be some overseas employees because they're not actually doing anything. They are willfully disengaged and apathetic, but staying just above the thresholds that would potentially lead to their dismissal.
Whoa. So let's redefine quiet quitters as only those who are willful. You're talking about arguing with a Republican.
No.
Fox News right now.
No.
Shit out of context.
You're out of your mind.
100%.
No.
A large portion of quiet quitters may actually be some of our safest and most reliable employees.
Because they're not doing anything.
Quiet quitters. No, wrong.
They're not a security risk because they're never logging into their ticket. They're never opening their computer to create a Jira ticket.
There should be a different definition for this. And you know what? There already is. Those are called insider threats and insider risks.
No. That's not the point. That's not what this article is saying at all.
Oh my God. Look at you. I just got you.
That's not what this article is saying at all. Did you read this article, John?
Yeah, of course. Top to bottom.
Of course. Just like you're not a quiet quitter.
I'm not a quiet quitter.
Oh, you're going above and beyond? You're not just doing the bare minimum?
I'm an above and beyond kind of guy. I drink the Kool-Aid.
Even though you're not getting paid for it? Oh, it's so sad. You're part of the problem, John.
Technically, I'm a exempt from overtime employee, so I am.
I know. That's how they get us. That's how they get us. That's how they get us all.
Enslave us.
So at any rate, the distinction they're making is not between necessarily even quiet quitters and I don't even know what the opposite is if you're defining quiet quitters as people who do their job, but whatever. that every business has security risks, but not every risk is a threat. But every threat starts out as a risk. So the theory would be if I'm a quiet quitter, then I'm going to be more lax on security and not follow procedures and not do these things because I am actively disengaged and not doing my job. But what they're saying is that there's the distinction then becomes quiet quitters and active leakers. If somebody's an active leaker, now they're a threat. They're exposing corporate information. And that's where the line is, that the quiet quitting isn't the problem, it's the active leaking, and that's when the risk becomes a threat.
And I think that the problem here is, I guess, water has been muddied in what a quiet quitter is. That's the bottom line. And when you can't sit here and clearly define between two people what quiet quitting is, then maybe it needs to go back to the whiteboard, or it just needs to be dictated that quiet quitters are the ones who are keeping Slack active while playing video games all day, or are the ones who are doing the bare minimum but not going above and beyond. Because the people that are playing video games all day, could they be a cybersecurity risk? Yeah, they're completely disengaged from their job, and they might feel, what's the word I'm looking for? Not hate.
No, sorry.
Go ahead, Peter.
Well, I think if you reframed the point of the article and removed the fact quiet quitter or not, unhappy employees are a risk to your organization.
100%.
That's true.
That's what the article should have been. Instead, they're fucking clickbaiting with quiet quitting.
The whole thing is a response to, low pay and shitty work conditions. So not many people start off with the intention of, I'm not going to do anything at this job. Some people do, sure, but they were going to do that anyway. But the phenomenon has come up because, the term has come up because, it's happened a lot lately, I suppose.
So, while you were chatting, I looked up, what is quiet quitting? Quiet quitting refers to doing the absolute minimum requirements of one's job and putting in no more time, effort, or enthusiasm than is necessary. As such, it is something of a misnomer since the worker doesn't actually leave the position and continues to collect a salary. Therefore, Jon is correct.
Yes. I know I was correct all along because I looked up what quiet quitting means, and I disagree with it. I have a huge problem with the term, because misnomer, neither you're quiet. That's where it ends. There is no quitting.
Right.
Yeah, I agree, actually.
And ever since we talked about it for the first time, I've expressed the same dislike to this bullshit, because what they've done is they've made it seem like doing your job and not being a crazy rock star 10Xer means you're less than, because you're putting that negative quitting in there. Using the word quitting instantly
interesting
says,
point. That's an interesting point.
What are you getting to?
No, I think you're right, and you did say that before. But now that you're explaining it like this, I think so. In the context of the business publications and corporate framing, saying that this completely normal thing to do is put in this negative context, that seemed totally believable. And I think that's probably exactly what happened. I'm on board. You're right, Jon. Sorry.
Thanks. God, that felt good. Oh my God. I could swim in this.
You have been. My wife's going to see this and be like, oh, you fucking apologized to him for being wrong.
That's good. That's fun. At the end of the day, the big problem is that the focus here is still on the employee. And Peter made a point that shouldn't be overlooked. When it's the fucking employer's fault, you're creating shitty situations for your employees, bad working conditions, long hours, high stress, micromanagement, and then you're like, yeah, they're quiet quitting. Like, no, dude, they're just completely disassociated from you. Don't twist it. This is your fault as an employer. These people are spending majority of their waking hours for you. The least you can do is treat them right.
Yeah.
Put that on a shirt.
All right.
All right.
Did we do the like and subscribe thing?
I don't
Like
know.
and subscribe. We'll see you tomorrow.